two guys who take wrestling seriously, and the least you can do is pity them and watch this. Here's Bo and Uncle Peter.
What are you looking at, butthead?
Wrestling News, episode 82, A Piece for My Niece.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another edition of Comic Book Man's Alternate Reality. I am, for those of you who are forgotten, and who could really forget me?
I find it hard to believe that
I'm Uncle Peter! Yes! He's back!
Yeah,
I found my way. Yeah.
Ho,
Ho, ho. No,
he walked
no.
across the country.
I did. I walked
Like
across
the Undertaker
from Canada just for you.
Yes.
And just so I could stand next to this guy.
Yes.
Whose name escapes me right now, so why don't you tell him?
Hi, kids, this is Bo. Remember me?
That's Bo. Anyway, I do know where we are.
I was carried here.
I really do. I do know where we are. Alternate Reality Incorporated, that comic book fun store next to the corner of 111th and Kedzie in the scenic, lovely Chicago neighborhood of Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality Incorporated, where all of your new comic books every single day, every single way, for every single body is 15% off because the man's lost his freaking ever-loving mind.
He's famous for his mushrooms.
He really is. There's some good ones, I'm telling you. Right. Anyhow, the fact that we're standing here doing this nonsense could only mean one thing. It's all been over and the world's going down the toilet, or we're doing WWE news.
Oh.
So, which is it there, Bo?
WWE News. Now, for all you folks...
Can it be both?
Knowing them, it very well could be. So
For those of you who watched the last episode of Raw, we're taping this a week after this.
Yes.
Karma's last appearance on TV.
Who's Karma?
Karma was actually, remember Awesome Kong?
Okay.
That's her new name in the WWE.
Boy.
Yes.
Is she really pregnant?
She is really pregnant.
Whoa.
Yes. She is
Somebody did that?
Knocked her up.
Oh Lord!
Yes.
I thought my standards were low.
Yes. She is pregnant, and she went out. Well, the week before she went out, and she was with all the divas, and she broke down and started crying. And then she came out to say goodbye, and she broke character next and spoke. The first time she ever spoke, and she just popped up there.
She can
feels
speak
she's
too?
pregnant. She can
Wow!
speak. She's
Miracles will never cease.
But she said she was pregnant. She wouldn't be able to wrestle because apparently this is a high-risk pregnancy. She also
as opposed to any other pregnancy where they'd really love to see you come off a rope. Yeah, that's great.
I don't think her finishing move would be good for pregnant.
No, definitely not.
But she also mentioned that Jim Ross, when he was the head of talent relations, called her fat and that she'd never become a WWE diva.
Pregnant.
Now, but Ross actually, that wasn't really true. Ross posted on his website, which is jrsbarbecue.com. It's a pretty cool website.
Go there.
He never told her she was too fat, but she was too big at the point where she applied for Tough Enough Season 2 in Las Vegas for what the WWE was looking for. In fact, Ross and Steve Austin made it a point to convince Vince McMahon to sign her. Cool. And so after her pregnancy is over with, she'll come over, she'll have the baby. She's probably going to wrestle at next year's WrestleMania.
And we wish the best in all seriousness. Made a little fun of Awesome Kong, but, congratulations, and we hope everything comes out well.
I really would like to do the
so
boyfriend.
to speak. Yeah, really, I would too. Maybe it's King Kong.
I've seen her, that baby's walking out.
Dragging knuckles, maybe. Speaking of, not speaking of, but in other health-related news,
John Morrison has been taking acting classes while recuperating from having a pinched nerve in his neck.
I thought all WWE superstars were just natural-born thespians.
Well, he's got natural
right up there with
talent,
Olivier
but since he's recovering and he can't really do anything, he on his own went to take these acting classes. Because with a pinched nerve, he can't pick up anything more than 5 or 6 pounds.
And he'd like to sharpen his skills a bit.
And Melina's basically here with him at home, making sure he doesn't hurt himself.
Oh, wow. Now, hey, my hand would hurt too. I'd be on the shelf too.
Yeah, he's expected to be back sometime around Money in the Bank, which is also when Triple H is supposedly going to wrestle.
Why
he hasn't wrestled since WrestleMania.
How come?
He nothing for him
just
to do. He's learning the business, son.
Nothing for him to do. He's married to Stephanie McMahon,
and she's at home watching their 3 kids. So.
All right, well, hey.
Which makes all the right people very happy.
I'm sure that goes over.
Supposed to be senator by now?
No, that's Linda, who's actually considered running again, to be honest.
Is she really?
She's going to decide by the end of next week whether she's going to run again.
Oh, did they decide they had too much money laying around?
Yeah, really, as if the first result didn't quite crack her head.
$54 million.
There you go.
Not enough.
If you've got too much money laying around, send it to this show.
Hey, over here. We could always use some.
nice.
I know plenty of worthy
Vince,
causes.
give me some of that money.
In more WWE news, they're going to be doing something with next.
Yeah, NXT still exists, even though you can only see it online.
Oh, great.
It's only available on YouTube. It's also on WWE.com, which is also where Superstars is. And actually,
I hear.
I actually watched Superstars a week ago, and I saw the return of Armando Alejandro Estrada.
Armando Alejandro Estrada.
They're going to do a 4th season in internet only. Apparently, they're going to have the contestants next season will be mentored by WWE veterans. Now, Ricky Steamboat's son, is in Florida Championship Wrestling, so he might be mentoring his son on next year's show.
Oh, that'd be a trip.
Brett DiBiase was going to do that, but Brett DiBiase's been cut as a wrestler. He's now working as a referee. But you've also got a Rotundo down there as well.
Oh,
so Mike Rotundo's hanging out.
And the legacy continues.
Right. So
since I hear that internet thing has possibilities, maybe it's not so bad that they're.
It was kind of interesting to sit there in front of the computer and just watch the show and go, oh. And if I got bored.
Just scan right along. Viewer's choice.
Right.
Okay, moving right along to the too little too late category. WWE Hall of Fame is going to more likely get a couple of new members.
Well, we already sort of figured that since the next year's WrestleMania is in Miami, that The Rock would be the main person announced to be joining the WWE Hall of Fame. The late Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth will probably join that list as well. Now, Savage.
Good thing they wait in such a timely manner.
Well,
especially
Savage
Macho.
and Vince had a lot of issues, and so when they would mention Savage, Vince would get quiet and he would sort of poo-poo it. Now he doesn't have much of a problem with it because Savage had a tendency when he was alive he would just sort of go off on his own and he wouldn't talk to people. In fact, there was something that was really weird. There's a story about he went to Brian Adams, who crushed his funeral.
Right.
He was there, as a regular guy. He's talking to Chris Jericho and Bret Hart, and they're looking at him, and they didn't even know who the hell he was because Savage is the kind of guy who would just sort of go off and he wouldn't talk to him.
I'd heard that. I'd heard that Macho was pretty quiet when he wasn't being. Ooh yeah.
And in fact, Macho, they had a little mild ceremony, and he was cremated. And his ashes were dropped at the tree of the same place that his dog's ashes were. And his current wife, who's in the car, in the car as well. She's actually recovering from her injuries.
Well, we wish her well, and we, for me anyway, since I'm just popping in every now and then, sorry for your loss, Mrs. Poffo. Macho made Vince a hell of a lot of money. I'm really surprised they waited this long.
Basically, the issue was with the fact that Vince sort of told Savage he couldn't wrestle anymore and more or less pushed him out of the company.
Great. Another stellar move by
Vince.
And
then Savage didn't. Savage flipped. Dusty.
I'm
Rhodes,
sure he didn't do much.
Dusty Rhodes said that he and Savage lived about a mile from each other, and they didn't talk either. It was just Savage's way.
Okay, well, somebody who will be talking, or more to the point, writing, Y2J. That's kind of a dated title now, isn't it?
Yeah, he's just playing
going
on
with
Chris Jericho
Chris
now. No,
Jericho.
he's just playing on Chris Jericho.
Okay, so he's up to something.
Well, he continues to tease that he may or may not be returning to the WWE, but one thing that we do know he's going to do, he signed the contract to write a 3rd book.
A 3rd book?
And actually,
pray tell, what's it going to be about?
Well, his last book stopped when he sort of, about a year after his entrance into the WWE.
Okay.
The first book, A Lion's Tale, dealt with him learning in Japan and getting into WCW.
Right.
The new book will probably detail the last part of his recent run with the WWE. And if you've read the first book, Lion's Tale is a great book. Undisputed is a great book. The 3rd book is going to be just as well.
So he's got some game writing wise.
Yeah, Jericho's a really good writer.
Okay,
probably some of the best wrestling biographies I've ever read.
And he's been known to fire a shot at some sacred cows. So So this should be definitely worth a read.
Yes, Chris has a tendency to basically just be very, very honest.
Cool beans. All right. Well, good luck with that, Chris, and hope it works well for you. That shoots our load for the show. We ran our list. You got anything else?
No,
Do we have time? Okay, we got
it. We don't have time.
Camera boy says we got to go, and the red light's flashing.
The red light's flashing.
All things conspire to say
the planets have lined up. We're done. That was WWE News. If you'd like to see more of this, Lord knows why.
Website. It's up. It's live. It's back.
Live. He brings a lot of stuff he digs through to bring it to you. And the little sprite, Sarah, she's going to tell you where We're our station on the Interstate Superhighway, Information Superhighway. But I really have been away at this.
Yeah,
for a
you're
while.
kind of rusty.
Well, Sarah, tell them where they are and save me, please.
www.myalternatereality.com. Think of what could happen if you don't go.
Thanks, dear. I think I got my feet back under me now. This has been Uncle Peter.
This is Bo.
Come check this stuff out until we see you again. See ya!
Hasta Luegas.
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.